What's going on, fellow knife lovers? Welcome to Nice Knives. Today we're taking a look at a knife that I picked up from Amazon that is made by HX Outdoors, and this is a China-based company that makes some pretty nice knives that you can get for a pretty good price. I'm going to post a link in the description of where you can get this knife, and if you follow my link, I'm going to also have a coupon code for you that is Nice Knives, all one word. And that's going to get you 10% off from anything from their website. And they have free shipping of anything over $49 over at HX Outdoors. But this one here I picked up from Amazon because this model they don't sell on the website anymore. I think it's been discontinued. And this one here is the ZD-022C. They say folding pocket knife blue here, made in China. This is a titanium alloy with S35VN blade steel. You get a nice little case here. It's got the foam inserts, a little plastic obviously, and it has the HX Outdoors QR code here that takes you straight to the website. But if you use the link in the description, that'll take you right there. And if you use that link, I'd appreciate it because it helps me out. But this knife here is about $100 on Amazon. I think right now they have this going for, I think there's a 30% off code on Amazon, so you can get this for about $70. This is the blue titanium alloy, they say, but it does look more purple. So with the blue and the purple, we're going to call it blurple. But it does have some very nice millwork on the scales here. You could see that there's a lot of nice weight relief in here. And you got some nice cutouts here for some anti-slip. Nice back spacer here with some really nice jimping. And it has also some cutouts there for weight reduction. You have a nice titanium clip that's held on with your T6 torque bits. And it is frame locked. And it has jimping up here on the spine of the blade, as well as on the flipper tab running on ball bearings. A lanyard hole running through it, and I did put this lanyard on there. But you have a T8 for the pivot screw. And you got T8 for the body screw. I'm sorry, T6 for the body screw. But it does have very good action. You got your thumb hole for deployment that has been chamfered inside. Reverse flicks, fantastic. You got a very nice finger choil. Here it says S35VN. And it does almost look like it's been bead blasted or sand blasted, but it kind of has more of a stone wash finish. And the blade shape on here to me, looks like a modified Tanto. You got some nice swedges up here, mostly flat ground. You can see a little line there meeting up to the point right there. So that's why it just definitely looks like a modified Tanto. But you get a good grip. This is a smaller version. They did make a bigger version, but I think the smaller version is really, really good size. Very comfortable in the hand. Your thumb gets on the jimping. And when you choke up here, you have a very good finger choil to get a nice choke up grip. I do like the finger stop there with the jimping on the flipper tab that keeps you locked in place. And like I said, I think it has very good action. The frame lock here, it's got the hardened steel insert in there, which is awesome. You definitely need that. But you can see they got some nice weight relief inside here. They cut out these or milled out these in here. This has all been milled out. Very nice mill work done on that titanium. And I really love this color. This was the cheaper color option, and I think it was, in my opinion, one of the best color options. I think they did a good job with this. Now, as far as the heat treat goes, there is no specs on Amazon, or you can't find this anymore on HX Outdoors website. So as far as the HRC goes on the blade, I have no clue what it is. I'm just hoping and trusting that they heat treated the S35VN blade steel properly. And as far as the titanium goes, it just says titanium alloy. I'm assuming it's 6Al4V titanium. You can't find that either. So I do wish, you know, they would have spec'd this out on the box, just saying what the titanium is and saying the HRC. I do think this needs more information. Maybe give it a name instead of a model number. That would be great. So HX Outdoors, if you're listening to this, please make sure you get the titanium alloy material. Just listed that. That's going to help you sell a lot more products. Also, if you get the HRC onto the website, at least on the website. That's going to also help you sell more products because people like to see what the HRC range is. But as far as the knife goes, very, very comfortable. Very good action. Like I said, this thing just flicks out amazing with those ball bearings. I did get a little KPL in there just to make sure I lubed it up before I started using it. And the flipper tab works very good. The detent is very good. It just flicks right out of there. So I think they did a fantastic job with that. Yeah, every way of deployment, it just shoots out of there fantastic. So I'm really liking this knife. And like I say, for the price for S35VN and titanium that's been anodized, I think even at $100, it's a pretty good bargain. But it would be nice to know what the HRC is. And even though I'm pretty sure this is 6AL, it would have been nice that they just list that. And it is kind of unfortunate that this model is discontinued. A lot of the models they have now they have titanium with D2 steel, and it seems like most of their knives are D2 steel. So it'd be nice to see them come back with some more premium models. And I think for them to do that, they're going to just need to get the information listed out, and that'll help people sell them. The other thing I was kind of thinking is they could maybe abbreviate their name. I mean, they could be HX Outdoors, but on the knife, maybe just have HXO or have their, HXO with their logo or something like that. Not a big deal on that though. I think they have very good minimal logoing or branding on the blade, which I like. There is a logo up here. It has some Chinese lettering, so I don't know what it is. And on this side, it just says S35VN, and you have your HX Outdoors with the little logo there. Not sure what it is. It kind of looks like some sort of animal there, maybe a deer or something. Very good knife though, and I think it's pretty fantastic. Let's go ahead and get some measurements here. And I do want to talk a little bit more about the blade angle as well. The knife here is sitting at almost 7.5 inches. It's between 7.25 inches and 7.5 inches overall. The blade's meeting up with the scales at 3.25 inches, and the cutting edge is exactly 3 inches. Now the scales themselves is sitting at 4.25 inches, and the weight of the ZD-022C, 98.3 grams, 98.4, 3.5 ounces. So it does have a very good weight. I like the weight. I like the feel, the action. Very smooth, drop shut, flipper tab works fantastic. I don't even have to flick my wrist, but it's a habit. It comes out of there without even flicking your wrist. So I really think that's great. Now with this blade shape here, you got that little point. You get this little point here on the blade. That is going to come out when you sharpen it. So I think it's a good thing that that's going to come out. It looks cool the way it is, but when you're cutting, this little notch pulls you out of your cut, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's not a huge deal. Once you sharpen it, it's going to come right out of there. But yeah, you can see I hit that little point there, and it kind of, if you stay back on it, it's going to cut very good. It is very sharp, so I like that. But once you get the first sharpening done on this knife, that little point on the blade should come out of there, and then you're gonna just have a nice belly there, which I think is gonna actually be beneficial for your cutting. But it does look very cool. And this knife actually is reminiscent of a Reich knife, and the Reich Thor 3 actually. They did have a bigger version of this, and this is a smaller version. And so the Reich Thor 3 is actually bigger, and so this knife here is smaller, but it does have the same look. So if you guys are curious, look up the Reich Thor 3, and you will see that this is almost identical in looks and everything like that, except that is an integral, and this is not. But all in all, I think this is a fantastic knife. I like frame lock knives. I love the action. I love the ergos. Now we're gonna do some testing and just see what kind of, heat treat we got on this blade. So I'm gonna be using it, and I'll get back to you on that. But for what it is, I think for the price, it's fantastic. They do make some pretty good stuff over there. So click on that link I'm going to leave in the description. Use my coupon code, especially today for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. And save yourselves 10% on some of their products. So we're gonna do some size comparisons right now. We're gonna put it up against the Kaiser. This is the Kaiser Lancer 2. This is S35VN blade steel, and this has a blue titanium handle or scales as well. And you could kind of see the difference here. This is more blurple, and this is definitely more blue. Also, we have the Kubi Royal here. Kubi Royal, that's titanium on M390 blade steel, I believe. And we're gonna put these side by side because these are very similar in size. I'm gonna put this one down here because also we have the Vosteed Thunderbird, and this thing is basically the same exact size as well. So you could kind of see, especially the handle on the closed portion of it. These are identical. Almost all of these are identical. But on the when the blade's open, you could see that this HX Outdoors is larger and it does have a bigger cutting edge. But as far as ergos and fitting in your pocket, very, very similar there. That's why I wanted to show you that. Now also the QSP Penguin. This is the titanium one with the 154 cm. Handle is also about the same exact size, but the HX Outdoors is a little larger there. Now the last one, because everyone likes to see it, we're gonna do the bug out. And you can see the size to the bug out. It is almost the same size as the bug out. The bug out maybe beats it just by like just a 1/16 of an inch maybe there. So not a huge deal, but that's a good size comparison for you. So now I think we're gonna quickly take a look at the edge retention sheet. And this is only if this heat treat is properly done on this blade. S35VN blade steel. It's more of a premium blade steel, and it sits right here at about an 8 for edge retention, and S35VN for toughness is going to sit right here at a 6. So pause the screen and see that if you're interested. Now we're going to do a bonus knife, guys, because it's super cool. We're going to do the Reich Predator, another full titanium integral. This has the M390 blade steel, full flat ground. Very nice millwork on this knife, and I'm going to get a full synopsis on this, but this thing is super neat. I really enjoy this knife. Reason I wanted to pull this out as a bonus knife, because from what I've read, I've heard that HX Outdoors teamed up with Reich, and Reich produced this knife for them. I don't know if that's true. That's what I read. There was several people saying that that's the case. And if that's the case, I could see why, because it looks almost identical to the Thor 3 from Reich. So here's a Reich knife for you as the bonus knife. Fantastic knife. Really like this thing. Ergos, great. Very, very usable knife as well. So that will be the bonus knife. If you guys have any questions or comments about this knife, or if you have this knife, I'm more curious about that. If you do own this knife and you've been using it, what do you think of this knife? How is your edge retention holding up on it? And stuff like that. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Check out that link I leave in the description. Use my coupon code Nice Knives. That's going to save you 10% from HX Outdoors. And I hope you guys have a great day. We're going to catch you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.